Welcome to this week's Rogers McHugh YouTube video. In this week's episode, I'm going to explain how you can become the CEO of a business. Let's go. Welcome to Rogers McHugh YouTube video. In this week's episode, we're going to be talking about how to become a CEO of a business. And it stems from what you've probably seen on social media, which is the LinkedIn profile of the Pret-a-Manger CEO and the career path that he's gone on from starting out quite a lowly level all the way through the ranks. If you've not seen it, I'll put a little clip of it there, and as you can see, he has progressed right the way through the business up to CEO. It's quite inspiring, really, and I wanted to just take some time to just give you a little bit of my take on it, really, because not everybody wants to be a business owner. Not everybody wants to take that financial risk and the burden and the pressures of running a business and having all the skin in the game, so to speak. Some people are what we would term as intrapreneurs and, you know, really entrepreneurial, but want that protection of doing it for an established company. And there's nothing wrong whatsoever with that. You know, if you want to run your own business, that's great. If you're more of an intrapreneur, again, that's fantastic. But what is it you need, and what skills or personality traits might enable you to do that? Well, the first thing, and obviously that's demonstrated here, is drive. You've got to have the drive and the motivation to turn up every day, to put the effort in, to put yourself out there, and to progress within the business. You know, if you come in every day, do the bare minimum, clock in, clock out, go home, don't really give it any other thought, you've put the bare minimum effort in, and you lack the drive and the motivation, the chances are your opportunities for moving from wherever you are now to CEO are probably non-existent. So you've got to have that inner desire and the drive to want to do well, want to progress, want to be the best that you can be. And the second thing is, you need to be doing the job that you want, not necessarily the job that you've got. So what I mean by that is, if you're currently working in Pret as a store manager, obviously you're not going to be able to start doing the tasks of a CEO. But just to move that back to recruitment, if you're currently a consultant and you've got trainee consultants around you, and you're thinking that you might want to go down the management route and become a divisional manager, branch manager, CEO long term, starting to work when you've got 5 minutes with the trainees within your division or your office, and giving them advice and taking them under your wing a little bit and trying to show them how to best do the job, and be open to answering any questions they might have. And giving you time without necessarily getting the rewards initially is a great way to show your employer that this person really wants to progress within the business. You know, they've got the business's best interests at heart, and they're taking their time to try and improve the people around them. And you know, the conversations will then start around, if you're doing well, we feel like you might want to take on some mentoring, some leadership roles. This is the career path for you, and it just stands you apart from some of your peers and some of your colleagues. You know, if you just go in and say, look, I want to be a team leader, and you've never led anybody, you've never mentored anybody, you've never supported anybody, it's a little bit of a leap of faith from your employer, especially if you're a big biller, to then say, right, well, we'll give you a team. However, if you go to them and say, really keen to be a team leader, and this is what I've already done to demonstrate that that's what I want, you're a lot more likely to get the opportunity. And then at that stage, then you might start looking at what roles and little bits of things you can do at the next stage to then progress a little bit further. So don't necessarily do the job that you're paid for, but do the job that you want, and start to take on some of that additional work to get you to that next step. And I would say that's important as well. You've got to be trustworthy. So again, if you're going to go through the hierarchy and work your way up through a business, you've got to be trustworthy. Your employer have got to trust that you've got their best interests at heart, and you've got the best interests of the company at heart. that if they are sharing sensitive information with you, that it's not going to go any further, that you really, you're going to turn up when you say you're going to turn up. If you've got a client meeting, you're going to go to the client meeting. You've got to really be honest, trustworthy, have integrity, and really demonstrate those skills, because again, if you're going to get into the upper echelons of senior management, if you're going to become a CEO, you're going to be overseeing the whole the whole kit and caboodle. It may well be that you'll only report into a board of directors or shareholders or whatever it might be, and you're responsible for the financial well-being of the business. They're not going to hand that over to somebody that's not trustworthy. So you've absolutely got to be trustworthy and hardworking as well. It's easy to say that just be hardworking, just go home and put in an extra 2 hours at night. That's not necessarily what I'm suggesting. But it's about, when you're in the job, when you're in work, it's about putting the effort in. Yes, recruitment's stressful. Yes, we all like downtime and we all need a bit of a break from time to time. But it's making sure that when you say you're going to do something, you get it done, and you make sure that you find time to get it done. It's about making sure that you're seen to give the right impression to those people around you in terms of what's expected. If you're looking at moving through the ranks, but again, you're doing the bare minimum, you're not hard working, the chances are that as these promotions come around, you're going to be overlooked. And for an entrepreneur that's looking at progressing to the highest level they possibly can, then it's very important that you're not seen to be lazy, not hard working, not trustworthy, and loyal as well. Loyalty is quite key. You can go from company to company to gain a promotion, but I think, as the LinkedIn profile of the Pret CEO shows there, it's very easy. Well, it's not very easy. I should refrain from saying that. It's as easy to get those promotions within one company, maybe even easier than trying to change jobs to get the promotions, because the people that you're working for see you on a daily basis. They know your strengths, they know your weaknesses, they know what you can bring to the table. And if you're loyal and you demonstrate loyalty and you're not constantly off interviewing elsewhere, and you're trying to do your best for the business, then those stepping stones throughout the business will come. And recruitment's great, as I've said in the past, for people that want to progress. It's a meritocracy. If you're doing well, if you're demonstrating these skills, if you're doing the job that you want, not necessarily the job that you're being paid for, then quite quickly you can move your way through the ranks. And there's a lot of people out there that I've listened to on podcasts, that you guys can go and listen to on podcasts, that may not want to take that financial risk, may not want to start their own business, may not want the stress of that, but are very entrepreneurial, very driven. We've got some of them in the business now that really want to take the business to the next level, because they know that gives them opportunities to progress, to move up another rung on the ladder. And they're the type of people that are always going to be successful in the career, in whatever they do. And it's great, because it means that you're pushing everybody else forward. You're building up a hierarchy. And if you are entrepreneurial but you don't want that risk, then to do it within an organisation, you can get a really strong career for yourself and get to the highest level you possibly can, just by following those sort of basic tips and personality traits. But yeah, I thought it was really inspirational, looking at this sort of LinkedIn profile of the Pret CEO, and it just shows what can be achieved if you put your mind to it. Like I say, you don't need to take the risks and all the financial burden that starting a business can mean. Some people will want to do that, some people won't. And if you don't, but you're entrepreneurial, then that's it's a real inspiration. And I'm constantly looking for those stories to really shine a light on what can be achieved. So that's this week's YouTube video. I'd be interested to know your thoughts. Are you more intrapreneurial or entrepreneurial? Do you believe that you've got what it takes to get to the top of your career and be successful? Is there anything that you think I've missed? What sort of personality traits do you think somebody would need to become a CEO? So I hope you've liked it. As I say most weeks at the minute, we are trying to increase the subscriber base. So if you can subscribe to the channel, these videos will go out to more people. And we're really trying to push the videos at the minute and be consistent with them and get them out weekly. So subscribe to the channel. You'll be notified every time a new video comes out. We'll be back next Sunday with the next Rogers McHugh YouTube video. See you then.